We are live? Okay. So good afternoon, learners. Welcome to this second online interaction for the MOOCs course on engineering psychology. I am your subject matter expert for this course. I'm Professor Naveen Kashyap from the Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati. This is a wonderful opportunity where I can talk face to face with people who are learning this course. This is beneficial both for me and for the learners. For the learners, because they can ask their doubts and questions and provide feedback related to the course, which will help me in fine-tuning this course so that it serves a better purpose and helps you understand the psychology of engineering or engineering psychology or human factor engineering or ergonomics. There are many names to this course. The other way that the course and this online meeting helps is it gives me this opportunity to hear from you all your feedbacks and understand what new requirements are available in this course. Now, before I start taking up questions, let me tell you all possible ways in which questions can be asked. There is a YouTube chat session which is running parallel to the team meet that we are presently running. So you can ask your questions as messages on this YouTube chat. You can also ask your questions by joining in the Steam Meet. You can ask a face-to-face question, provide your feedback or suggestions, or you can write a chat, a message as a question to me on this Team Meet. A third way to connect and ask questions is through the online forum, which was distributed to you some time ago. And there is again where you can ask questions to me related to this course. Now, if you miss out on this opportunity of asking questions, at the present moment, you can ask these questions in the discussion forum for this course, or one last option is to post a mail to me on my email box. And what I can do is I can look at your questions and try and reply to those questions. Now, a quick look at the online response sheet suggests that no question has been asked, although the student logged on, Ms. Elka, but has not asked any questions, so I'll leave that there. I have no questions on the online YouTube live chat, so I'll wait for people to ask questions, get logged on, and post the questions. And I also don't see much people registered or logged on to this online team meeting. So what I'll do is, as customary, I'll try and explain what this course is about. And in the meanwhile, if more people log on and ask questions, I'll be answering them with the limited knowledge I have about this course on engineering psychology. So let's first start by understanding where does this field come from. During the Second World War, it was seen that a lot of equipments were ill-designed, and because of that, there was a lot of casualties in the Second World War. Some of these were because of the user of the equipment, but many a times the design of the equipment served as the main reason for failures and a large number of deaths. And it was that during this period of time that ergonomics, human engineering, engineering psychology, human factor engineering, no matter how you call it, came into being. It started by looking at the design of cockpits of aircraft and seeing what were the possible reasons of accidents. One possible intuition and finding from these studies were that because the poor design of the flaps and the wheel, the pilot got confused, and a number of times he forgot to lower the wheel or raise the wheel while climbing up or landing down in an aircraft. And because of that, severe accidents took place. Also, flaps, which are very essential for creating the turbulence and the push for aircrafts to lift, were so ill-designed that pilots misconfigured these flaps, and because of these, a number of times the flights could not take off, or if they took off at a higher strike angle, because of which the flights veered off the skies. Research into this led to redesigning the flaps and wheels, at least in ways which were so intuitive that the cognitive load on the pilots, who were already having so much information to process, was lowered. So the wheels, or the lever which controlled the wheels, was designed in such a way, or rather redesigned in such a way, that it had a wheel on it. And by that, putting the wheel on the lever reminded the pilot that this wheel had to be either taken up or lowered down. Similarly, the lever which controlled the flap was redesigned to have a flap on top of it for holding purposes, and that led to a number of lesser accidents in the actual war scenario. It is from here that the field of engineering psychology came up, and from that time to the present, it has increased many number of folds. It has not only improved over years, but it has now developed into a fully functional and important field in the behavioral sciences area. Now, this is how the field started. The components of the field include knowledge from cognitive psychology, cognitive neuroscience, physiology, basic physiology, and some other applied fields. When I was designing this course, I thought about making it as easy as possible. And so I developed this course for an 8-week program in which some very important concepts within this course was designed. And it is within this knowledge that the whole course is anchored. The course starts by introducing the basics of engineering psychology as to where it comes from, what all it consists of, how the various systems and processes within cognitive psychology and other fields interact with each other to develop this field of engineering psychology. So here we introduce the concepts of engineering psychology. Moving on, the next section deals with both the experimental and the observational method and how these are used for studying interesting questions within the field of engineering psychology. Next comes in the study of physiological limits and physiological systems within the human being. Why this is important is because humans are limited by the physiology. And the role of engineering psychology is to find the best fit machines that can address the limitations of physiology of the user and develop an interaction between the user and the system so that the output of this system is highly fruitful. So section 3 and 4 deals with our visual system, our tactile systems, auditory systems within the humans, and how all these systems are used for displaying information and capturing information from the machines. Most machines give some kind of an information. What this information should be, in which particular channel it should be broadcasted, what should be the content. All of these are studied and explained very nicely within this sections. We also look at the basics of tactile, visual, and auditory physiology of the humans. Toward the end of this section, we look at different methods of evaluation which are used in engineering psychology. For example, if we design a system, how do we evaluate whether the system is good or bad, and what parameters should be used for looking at these evaluations. Next on, we look at some cognitive functions and some motor functions of the user, which are important and which play a decisive role in establishing a fruitful relationship between the machines and the humans. One important aspect of the human cognitive system that should be studied and is most important as it plays a deterministic role in forging this relationship between machines and humans is attention. And a detailed knowledge about human attentional systems and multitasking is what is the subject matter of this section. We also look at how humans decide when they have a number of information to go with which information and to suppress which information. So the decision-making systems or the decision-making processes within the scope of human-machine interaction is the next thing to study. Towards the end, we also look at the required motor skill and cognitive control, which are essential for developing this relationship and enriching this relationship between humans and machines. Understand here that the basis of this course, the foundations on which this course stands, is the idea that not to change the humans a lot, but to make machines which cover for the inadequacies of humans. Machines should be so intelligent that they can cover for all the limitations of humans and provide such a interactive medium that humans find it a gain to work in such system. That can happen by looking at the physiological and cognitive limitations of both humans and machines and trying to develop systems which cover for one another. Motor skills are important and cognitive controls are also important because they serve a purpose and they provide enough reason and methods of how this relationship can be developed. So once we know about the physiology, the cognitions, and the basis of how to do research in engineering psychology, we finally turn into looking at how environments which do not directly enter between the humans and machines interaction have a role to play in enriching this relationship between humans and machines. So we start looking at how environment or design of environments help in better understanding this relationship and enriching this relationship. Design of environments to suit both the humans and the counterparts, the machine or systems on which humans work. For example, let's look at the idea of when cubicles are better and when separate rooms are better. And depending on the requirement of that particular business or industry and the person who's serving that industry at that particular position, a choice can be made between using cubicles which are open, quite noisy, but promote friendliness and cross people talk, against closed offices where secret or attention diverting works are handled. Towards the end of the course, in week number 8, we handle human error. No matter how good a human is and a machine is, there are a number of errors that humans tend to do. We look at some of these errors and try to understand what makes us do errors in a human-machine interaction system. We classify these errors and try to find out the solution for these errors. Not only that, we're also trying to find out ways in which these errors can be minimized so that the relationship, again, between the humans and the machines can be more fruitful and more enriched. All in all, this is how the humans and machines and form the course content for this course on engineering psychology. Week by week, I try to explain to you the intricacies of the relationship that exists between humans and systems and how these can be used for making better systems, fruitful systems, which do not compete with humans, rather are complementary to humans so that the productions go up and humans also find a lively and entertaining environment while dealing with them. As I said, the same course has a number of names, and most of these courses serve the same purpose. We look at those human factors which sometimes enhances and sometimes limits the processing of information by systems. This course is a study of these factors and how these factors help in forming better systems and optimized systems, which help in producing good environments, good human-machine interactions, and increasing productivity and more comfortable environment for working within humans and machines. So that's a very brief of what this course is all about. Now, we are almost 20 minutes into this session, and I haven't found a single question or a single person logged in to this session on engineering psychology. I'll wait for a couple of more minutes, and if we do not find people or questions related to the course on engineering psychology, I'll have to terminate this session. But for those of you who are listening to me or who will listen to me in future, please know that there is a way to ask questions to me by posting questions onto the forum or writing it directly to me. I have Adesh, and he says that I missed 2 assignments. I hope I passed the criteria to remaining assignments. Yes, you would. So we tend to have 6 based assignments, and that is how we calculate the marks. So don't worry if you have missed 2 assignments, you're good to go. So not much harm done. If there are other people who are here who have logged on and who would like to ask questions or provide their suggestions, I welcome them to ask the questions or provide the suggestions. If no question is put forward, I may have to terminate this session prematurely, but as I have explained to you that there are other ways of connecting to me and asking your questions. So even if you missed this session online, feel free to put your question on the discussion forum or write it to me as an email, and I'll answer those questions for you. So I'll wait for a couple of more minutes. If I don't have any more questions or any questions coming up, I'll have to terminate this session. People, if you're listening to me, if you are here for this course session, if you're joined in, if you're watching, please ask your questions, put up your suggestions, feedbacks related to this course. The course has a final exam which will consist of 50 questions, 2 marks each, which makes it 100 marks in total for the exam. The questions are multiple choice. There is one most suitable answer, and that is the one that you should be answering, although there are multiple choice questions. But the one which is the most suitable is the one that you have to select. There are no negative marks for this final exam. Read the assignments and do the assignment questions properly. Look at the videos, break the videos, and look at it not in one go, but in many small breaks. Read the transcripts. If possible, read the books which has been assigned or named with this course, and you're good to go and have good marks in this course. So since we are not getting any more questions, and I don't see a lot of people logged on, we are almost 30 minutes into this session. I would have to prematurely end this session. So if you didn't get an opportunity to ask questions, please put your questions in the discussion forum or as an email to me. So thank you for being here, listening on. I wish you all the best for your upcoming exams. And thank you and goodbye from the MOOC studio. Thank you.